Praise be Jesus and Mary. I thank Father Marinko for the trust that he has given us. I'm psychologist and psychotherapist, and today at this encounter, I just would like to address you with a few words related to the Youth Festival. Learn from me and you will find peace. It is exactly those words of Jesus out of my clinical praxis are the answer to the questions that I have on behalf of my patients when they come, when they're unhappy, when they're lost, when they are depressed, and when they're anxious. I'm sitting in front of them. They're just there. They look at me and they ask me questions. What do I need to do to be happy? I do not feel peace for a long time. Or they say, I'm bothered by restlessness, or nothing in my life makes me happy. So this theme of the Youth Festival that Jesus says, learn from me and you will find peace, it is the answer, a concrete answer to all of their questions. People today tend to find some instant solutions, just like we have mobile phones with touch screens. Somehow people, as if they expect that the solutions would be like that, instant solutions. What we hear when Jesus says is the following: learn from me and you will find peace. And there are two things that are in that, contained in that, which is action. We need with our behavior. We need to monitor the behavior of Jesus, but not just with action, but with our cognition, with our thoughts too. Why? Because only if we, with our action, what we concretely do in our life, with our deeds, with our cognition, if we think like that, and if we go in both directions, and if we are in the harmony, as if when you have the train, both that needs to be for the train to move on. The train is the same as with our psychological life. Our work and our thoughts need to be in accordance with Jesus. If our work is in one direction and our thoughts in the other direction, just like the train that wouldn't be moving, the same is with our life. We will not advance, and very often people come, they are confused, they do not understand. How come that they're constantly unhappy? How come that they cannot feel peace? What we in psychology say, they are not in the harmony within themselves. This harmony means that there must be balance between what I think, between what I believe, and how I work in my life and what I do. So you see, our psychological nature is like that. That is what God created. This nature cannot be fooled. We can do very good things, but if these things are not made out of love, if these things are not made, that just like Jesus is doing, if we do it out of cognition, with our full love and care, these activities will not bring us peace, and people will remain confused. They do good things and somehow they're not happy. Maybe we expect some personal interest, maybe to get applause from the others. And if I have good thoughts, and these thoughts do not follow our deeds, we again will not have results and will feel the inner restlessness. Only our cognitive processes and our behavior, when that is in harmony with how Jesus is teaching us, only then we would obtain the final goal, and that is the inner balance. It is peace. What I would like to say also, what I very often encounter Unfortunately, I have more and more people, there are more and more people who have psychosomatic diseases. It is when you come to the doctor and you are complaining about headache, that your stomach hurts, that you feel dizzy, that you cannot sleep, or similar things, that you have like a chronic feeling of being tired, and the doctor says to you, okay, you know, you have this certain condition, and this condition is just because of stress. World Health Organization says that 80% of physical diseases are psychosomatic. If we connect that with the words that we have heard and what Jesus says, I as a psychotherapist would say, it means that our biology, our inner physiology of our body is complaining because of this disharmony between what we would like to be and between what we concretely in our lives are doing. It is as if you want to fly plane, and you want to go to Poland, and you buy a ticket for Spain, and then when you land to Spain, you remain astonished. This is what it happens. People want to have peace and love. But the question is, what do they do in their lives? And what are the choices that they make? These psychosomatic diseases are just a sign that we are in some sort of inner disharmony. What I can say is that you can go to doctor, you can seek for help, but there won't be any help unless we work on a cause. And that is that we need to work on our inner peace and balance. Many are offering different solutions, especially to the youth, because the time of our youth is the time when we seek, the time of questioning. It is the inner development. That is why the greatest number of offers are given to the youth. The question is, which choices do we make? It can be some chemical substances. Some sort lately, very often, there's like easy way of gaining money, becoming rich, and even one of the solutions, how to come peace. And people believe when they are surrounded with noise, with restlessness, that in that way they would put down and distinguish this inner restlessness and come to peace, but unfortunately there would be even worse restlessness. There was a married couple. Unfortunately, they were just about to divorce. They had major problems in their marriage. And then after they had some few sessions in my office, I told them, listen, I do not think it would be a bad idea that you just give some time for yourself. You go to the solitude, you go, maybe Croatia has a nice coast, you just find a place where two of you would be alone. And then this wife looked at me and she said, that wouldn't end in a good way. And I said, this would be wonderful, why not? Two of us to be alone, we would kill each other. This is how it looks, how people are afraid of solitude, how they're afraid. Genuine peace. And then they try to push down everything they feel about themselves, all those times when they seek, when they search for something, who knows what is good for me? Where do I follow the lifestyle? Where is my peace? We can follow that. We can find many offers, various offers of coaches of different or similar things. And they say to us where to find peace and what is that I should be doing, what one individual should be doing to obtain the inner balance. But Jesus is saying the inner balance is not some sort of the physical movements. It is about our total life. Jesus wants us to be whole. He wants our thoughts and our activities. He wants to have our physiology as well. Whatever we keep for ourselves, we are all surrendered and we cannot find the results. In order for us to surrender, we need to have the trust. In the clinical practice, I can see that for me as psychotherapist, it is far easier to work with people who trust me. When I have a client, a patient who believes in Jesus, who has a good relationship with Jesus, I see that whatever problem there is in his life, usually those are very difficult situations. Losing someone, it is far easier for people to handle that. And to me, that connection with Jesus is like something when everything starts sinking around him. It is a place where I can lean on, so we would be saved, so we would find a strong foothold. And with the help of Jesus, we would stabilize our lives. Unlike the situation when I have the client who doesn't have a good relationship with Jesus, he does not believe. When you start working with that person, sometimes I feel so sad. I feel in fear for that person because there's nothing that you can hold on. You start working with that person so he would find the meaning. You work on the relationship with God and you see that that relationship is very bad. You work on the relationship with the loved ones and then you see that communication is very bad. You see that person is lonely. Unfortunately, people today, they tend to have it is just the understanding of that. They think that the self-confidence is just something that is understood. It is just trusting himself. I'm enough for myself. I'm able to bring myself to the certain condition of, let's say, balance or happiness. I'm strong enough that I can conquer everything in my life, whatever happens in my life, but life plays with us. There are different circumstances, and person doesn't have solution to the certain situation, and then he starts thinking. And then what happens is that what we hear very often is depression. What for me was very surprising as a psychotherapist, when I was going through the education for a psychotherapist, the answer that what is behind depression? Usually people who are depressed, they seem to be depressed, they seem to be without any will, without any initiative. But in the clinical practice, it has shown that just behind that there is a feeling that we wouldn't be surprised with. It is the feeling of anger. People who are depressed, they're angry. They're angry about themselves. And they were not able to accomplish their life to be the way they wanted. They're angry at people around themselves because they do not behave the way they want to behave, the way their life would like to be. If it is about the spouse, we are angry at our spouses. Parents are angry at their children. The children are angry at their parents. And what we say in psychotherapy, what Jesus is teaching us, is the key of mental health. It is good relationships. Jesus had good relationships with the others. We need to learn from him. Without good relationships, we cannot have peace. It is not irrelevant what kind of relationships I have with my loved ones. It is the first question I ask my clients. People come, they speak about anxiety, they speak about depression, obsession, disorder, their dizziness. They send them to neurologists, to different. They constantly have some sort of illnesses and problems, and they expect of me that I will talk to them about their illnesses. And I ask them, what are the relationships with your neighbors, with your loved ones? Do you have good relationships? People are very often astonished, as if they cannot connect what kind of relationship, how come that is connected with my health. But that is very much connected. My health is just material reflection of my psyche and of my spirit. If my spirit and my psyche is stable and it is in good connection with my Jesus, of course I would be working on that I have good mutual relationships, and then my physiology would be in greater peace. In that way we come to some sort of health, not just physical health. And very often we talk about that. That is very much emphasize the importance of the physical health, but we need to understand the truth. It is only reflection of our psyche and of our spirit. The relationship, what is relationship? When I said the good relationship, we need to understand what is relationship. It is how I behave with people around myself. What do I think? What do I do? How I speak? And with that behavior, I'm able to accomplish myself as a person. I show them love and I show them importance. I feel importance. And I'm trying to make sure that they are good with me too. Jesus had good relationship with people. But in my clinical practice, it is surprising how people often come who very often are unhappy, and they spend the great part of life being sad because all other people do not see them, do not love them. If I want to be happy in my life, everyone needs to love me. Everyone needs to be applauding me for everything that I'm doing. In order for me to be happy, everyone needs to say to me, "You're good. Everything that you do is great." And then we see in the clinical practice, if 10 people say that it is good what I'm doing, maybe that is not good. It is like that person is blocked, and then they reject even these 10 people who say they are good, and they're fixed and only on this one. And they somehow are trying to push forward so this person wouldn't say to them, "Great, well done," because until the last person says, "Well done, I cannot be happy, I'm not content, and something is missing." And then when I do psychotherapy, I ask them a question. If I know that person is a faithful and believer, I ask them a question, and people are astonished by that. Usually I ask them and I say, "Okay, did everyone like Jesus?" Then they laugh and they say, "Okay, of course, it is not that everyone liked him. It is normal that Jesus was not pleasing for everyone, and how do you expect everyone to like you? How do you expect that everything that you do in your life, that everyone says to you, well done? If there's someone who doesn't say, well done for you, then you are blocked, you're angry. The anger is masked, depression is masked, and actually you are frustrated because everyone doesn't think the way you do. And then in your desire to please everyone, more and more people lose their identity. If I talk to Marko, I want to think like Marko. So Marko would say, you're good, we're similar, you're great. Then I go to Ivo, to John maybe, and then I say the same thing that John is saying, and then I'm imitating constantly other people with desire to please everyone, but I just lose myself. What we see with Jesus when he says, learn from me, Jesus was authentic. Jesus was always the same, even at the price of not pleasing all others. People who really want to be pleasing for others, in the modern words, we can say people who want to have more and more likes. They want to seem prettier and prettier on Instagram or something like that. They want to take photographs in a way that maybe is not close to me personally, but I will have more likes if I take certain photographs. In that way, we just go far from our interior, from what I truly am. But we shouldn't forget that only Jesus knows who you are in the depth of your soul. Only Jesus is accepting you the way you are, authentic. All other people would like you to be the way. It is easier for them to be with you. For them it is easier if you think like them. For them it is easier if you behave like them. And again, we encounter some sort of paradox of today's society. That is, what is promoted is how to be different is okay, how that is really needed. But on the other hand side, in my office I can see a great pressure to people who come unhappy because they didn't accept to be different, because I see that society expects everyone to be the same, to live authentic life. The authentic life following the teaching of Jesus Christ. That means to be more and more different. But then at the same time, we will not be accepted by the others. And then again, we need to ask ourselves the question, who is that I would like to be accepted from? I'm a psychotherapist. I do not enter there if you want to be accepted from the world and from some sort of trance. It is simple. You do what they expect you to do, and you will be accepted. If you want to be accepted from Jesus, if you want to be in peace, you will always be accepted by Jesus. If you want to accept His journey, then you will follow His paths. People come distressed. On one hand, they want to follow Jesus, but they want to please people too. We may need to make decision and choice. It is up to us. It is not real. It is not real to please people and to expect to have inner peace. For peace, we need to fight and struggle. Jesus invites us to struggle and to be in action. We need to do something. We cannot be passive observers of our lives by waiting for happiness just to come. Happiness is not something that falls down from heaven. It's not something that can be bought, something that someone else can give you. Happiness is the result. It is the result of life, my lifestyle. It is the way I live and what I believe. Happiness is the result, the reward, we could say, of what Jesus is saying. You will find peace. We can think that there is happiness there too. We cannot find happiness without peace. When we find peace, we would be in happiness. It is balance. It is real balance. We need to struggle for that, but the reward is immense. And I invite you and me to take the compass of our lives. So the compass would be Jesus, that every day we look at our lives, on our life journey, in the evening, in the morning. Just like it was said, that I find peace for myself. I look at this compass and I see, am I in this day with my decisions and with my choices that I made? Am I in direction to the goal that I want, which is peace? Learning from Jesus, or am I a little bit aside from this path? What is really great is the love of God. No matter how many times we go away, this compass would always bring us to the right way. And then by looking into that, we can always find ourselves. We just need to be looking at that. We need to be looking more often. Only true, so we would come out to only true peace. That would ensure us long-term purpose of life, that we may be blessing to this earth, blessing to our community, the example of good relationships, because only in that way we would have some sort of true health of our spirit, of our psyche, and of our body. On that journey, may we be blessed by Our Lady's intercession. Thank you from the depth of my heart for the patience, and I hope certain word reaches you.